on the Texas A&M Sports Network from Learfield. Welcome to the Aggie Basketball Hour with Bucky McMillan. Brought to you by Coors Light, Choose Chill, and Gig 'em Aggies. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly. Also brought to you in part by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Visit rudys.com to find real Texas barbecue near you. And by Twisted Tea, hard iced tea for the 12th man. Please drink responsibly. Now, welcome to the Aggie Basketball Hour with Bucky McMillan. Here's the voice of the Aggies, Andrew Monaco.
Howdy, and welcome to another edition of the Aggie Basketball Hour with Bucky McMillan. And for the next 60 minutes, we're talking Texas A&M men's basketball, and we do it with the head coach of the Fighting Texas Aggies, Bucky McMillan. We look at the week that was, the 2 wins this week, at home at Reed Arena, Wednesday night over Mississippi State, Saturday afternoon over South Carolina. Couple those wins with Auburn's win at Florida, and Texas A&M sits atop the SEC with a 6-1 record. Coming up this week, a date with Georgia in Athens on Saturday at noon. We thank you so much for joining us on the Texas A&M Sports Network, on the 12th Man mobile app, on Learfield's Varsity Network app, or perhaps you're joining us behind the mic on the Texas A&M Basketball Facebook page. Check in. We'll say hello. Have a question? We'll pass it along. We've got an hour to talk Texas A&M basketball, and we're doing it at Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. So glad to see everyone here. So glad you have joined us. We'll be right back to get started. Bucky joins me next. This is Aggie Basketball from Learfield. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance wants to give you a VIP Aggie basketball fan experience this year. Go to 12thman.com/maroon contest and register. One winner and a guest will receive game tickets, a Bucky McMillan autographed basketball, and you'll be recognized on the video board during the game. Register today at 12thman.com/maroon contest. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance is a proud partner of Texas A&M Athletics. It's the Aggie Basketball Hour with Bucky McMillan. I'm Andrew Monaco. We talked about the week that was for the Aggies, the 2 games at home and the tests that they had. Mississippi State, the last game on Wednesday, what turned out to be the first game on Saturday against South Carolina. The Aggies with the 88-68 win over Mississippi State on Wednesday moved to 5-1 in conference play with that, holding Josh Hubbard, the SEC's leading scorer, to 14 points. About 9 points below his average. The Aggies get that win at home. Almost 10,000 show up on Wednesday. Bucky, who had asked everyone to come out, even though the adjusted time on Saturday, over 10,000 show up on Saturday. Nearly 11,000 show up and watch the Aggies destroy South Carolina 92-69, a 29-2 run in that win over South Carolina after falling behind. And talk about a little bit later on in this hour about the maturity of the team having the big lead at the half and extending that lead in the second half and cruising to the victory. And as I mentioned off the top, when Auburn went into Florida and won in Gainesville for the first time in nearly 30 years, the Aggies sit atop the SEC with a 6-1 mark. No one has a better record than Texas A&M, and yet unranked. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there. But they'll play Georgia on Saturday. That will be a 12 noon game against Georgia. Georgia, unlike the Aggies, will not do have a game this week. Georgia will host Tennessee. That will be on Wednesday. Then the Aggies and Georgia from Stegman Coliseum in Athens. That will be at 12 noon with an 11:30 Dos Equis tip-off show. The Aggies put that conference best record on the line against Georgia, a team that is also, like the Aggies, one of the highest scoring teams in the SEC. Aggie Basketball Hour with Bucky McMillan rolls on from Rudy's. We step aside. We're just getting started. It's Aggie Basketball from Learfield. When you need a new roof or just have a pesky leak, you want to call on the winning team at Schulte Roofing, home of the Bulletproof Roof Guarantee. Get the best. Visit SchulteRoofing.com. It's the Aggie Basketball Hour with Bucky McMillan. We're at Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. Still have some time to come down, be a part of this show. Thank you. Thank you all for coming out. And except Brandon. Brandon said it was too cold. Yeah, Yeah, I was told Brandon Bunch said it was just too cold, and Brandon, we're going on without you. He knows I'm kidding, right? He absolutely knows I'm kidding. He might be our biggest fan, is what he is. Alongside the head coach of the Fighting Texas Aggies, Bucky McMillan, 2-0 this week, 6-1 in conference play. And the word that jumps out to me, first, howdy. Second, a lot of maturity, I thought, for this team this week in those 2 wins. Would that be fair to say?
We're getting better. We know that. I tell you what, it's a lot of maturity. You know, when you coach, you mature quickly. When you have every game comes down to the wire, it's good to get some years back that we won some where I could relax the last 4 minutes. I'm sure everybody in here liked that a lot more than having to sweat it out to the end. But, no, that was good to see us run away with a couple.
And that normally is not the MO in the SEC. Like you always say, it's going to be a 1 or 2 possession game every single contest.
Well, they did, a little study on it recently, and just every game they're just showing how close the games and the margins are in our league. They're just right there. And, so, we'll take them how we can get them. But I don't think we'll have too many like that where you just get to relax at the very end in 20-point wins. But these games coming up now, it's going to be a gauntlet, and these will all come down to hopefully we're right there where it comes down to the last possession.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you feel that now there's a slightly larger target on your back now that you lead the SEC?
For sure. We talked about this. I think based on last year, obviously all new players, all that, I think a lot of people looked at A&M and thought, hey, we'd have a good chance to go in there and get one because of obviously we have more continuity and whatnot. They're a little late with the roster, but now I think it's safe to say that when you're at the top of the SEC, you're not going to catch anybody off guard. No. That's for sure. Obviously, we'll go play a good Georgia team, and everybody's hungry for wins because it's just right there, And but guess what? We're pretty hungry too.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the thing. I think people lose sight of that fact. Yes, the expectations change in that, okay, we thought A&M, we could circle and say, yeah, we can get them this year, right? Now it changes, but forgetting also the growth of this team, the camaraderie of the team. This team knows one another. And again, coming from the practice court, not just on Wednesdays and Saturdays, you better be ready for that intensity because that's what you're gonna face. Just because you're hungry doesn't mean you're going to beat Texas A&M.
Yeah, for sure. Like we're playing really good right now. I think we're just getting better by the game. So I think that we wanted to be better. Like we went from the start of the year to the middle of the year to now, probably improved about 15 points in each spot. Now how can we be like that much better from this point to the end? To the end of conference play. But I do think we're the most improved team in the SEC.
Yeah.
And the later we go, we should just keep getting better and better.
Yeah. After the game, after talking with you, we got a chance to talk to Rylan Griffin, and that was one of the things I wanted to ask him about, how this team communicates on offense, but also with that time together, it helps the defense, right? It's the communication on both ends of the floor, isn't it?
Well, if we had saw our team play early in the season, and we'd say in SEC play, according to HDI Analytics and then according to Ken Palm in league play, we got the number 1 defense in the SEC. And if you looked at the size of our players and you said they were going to have the number 1 defense in the SEC at this point, you would say we're crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to see that come along and to be that in league play is obviously really good. Can we sustain it? We're going to see.
Right.
But I think our adaptability on defense has helped us, and you don't do that without a connectivity to you, right? Our guys are pretty connected out there on defense. We obviously play slightly different, so it's a kind of a one-off when teams play us. But I think our guys are rallying around that, not just scoring the ball. I think they're realizing that we can score more when we get stops because we're out and running.
Right,
yeah.
Right. And it's not all the full-court press, Buggy. This half-court defense has been really good, has it not?
Yeah, it has. You got to be good in both phases of defense, full court and half court. And then, sometimes with our full court, if we don't get a turnover, that's okay. We're shaving time off the clock, disrupting them. Maybe someone else has to bring the ball up that they're not used to. And then, then it's just about guarding the ball. And late in that clock, which we didn't do a great job of the last 10 minutes of that game.
Right.
South Carolina said they're going to put their head down and drive, and I know we're trying not to foul so the clock doesn't stop, but we're going to show a lot of clips of that tomorrow because this team we're playing on Saturday, Georgia, they're going to play up and down.
Right.
They're I think they might be the top in the SEC in points per game right now.
Yeah.
So it'll be a track meet over there, and they're going to really look to drive the ball. They're a hard team to beat at their place as well, so we're going to play a great game.
Yeah, but that's the nice thing about the wins is you can layer it on a little bit more, right? players become a little more receptive after victories as opposed to constantly getting beat down after losses.
Yeah, well, you got to learn through winning, you got to learn through losing.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's how you improve. And our team's done that. We know that. And, we're going to have a lot of great tests here coming up, lots of different styles. But, our guys, I think they're ready for it.
Georgia on Saturday, 12 noon, 11:30 with our Dos Equis tip-off show. We're going to step aside. It's the Aggie Basketball Hour with Bucky McMillan from Rudy's. This is Aggie Basketball from Learfield. Thanks to the generosity of 12th Man Foundation donors, Aggie student-athletes have the resources to succeed at Texas A&M and beyond. Start your tradition of support today at 12thmanfoundation.com. Continuing, Aggie Basketball Hour with Bucky McMillan from Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. Head coach of the Fighting Texas Aggies, Bucky McMillan. One thing I wanted to ask, because I had a chance to talk, because your assistants are awesome, and I want to get into your assistant coaches. And Kyle Keller was saying, the full court press, I've had to adapt. He goes, I was always stronger, half court defense. And again, having him on staff, no surprise, able to do those. But I thought it said an awful lot. The staff that you brought with you said an awful, along with the players. We talk about that. I don't know if we say enough about the staff and the years of experience that they bring and how you all are on the same page.
No, we got a great staff. Excuse me. We got a great staff. We people from different places. Most all have been head coaches, and the ones that haven't been a head coach, like they could have been a head coach at some point.
Mitch could have been at Stanford, correct?
He could have been there.
Yeah.
He wanted to come back out here, but he's been a head coach at Barry College, and they were great. Kyle's obviously was at Stephen F. Frank was at Missouri, Miami, and Tulsa. They've all won wherever they've been. TJ could have done it, but he chose to stay the high major route.
Yep.
One thing about our staff, we get credit. Head coach gets credit when you win. Head coach gets all the blame when you lose, right? We've been winning lately.
Yeah.
We get a lot of credit when we win. But I'm telling you, these guys, our staff, throw me out of this mix, are unbelievable with great staff chemistry.
Yeah.
TJ Cleveland, you talked about full court defense and how we play defense, and it's how we've always played since high school.
Right.
Well, TJ played for Nolan Richardson in the 40 minutes of hell days.
Yeah.
Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
So he played for the king of full court defense.
Right.
And so it's funny because early in the season when it was a little new to Frank and Kyle. Obviously, Dave, good at coach with me. Mitch knew me forever, obviously. And then everybody, Warren and those guys have been with me since high school, so they know we're not stopping, right? Well, it was interesting because early in the season when we'd be there and we're still figuring it out, we're giving up, we're playing, and Frank and Kyle are kind of sitting there like, I don't know if we should trap here. Until trap. Like, go.
Yeah.
He just lived it. He's been a part of it.
Like it's the DNA for him.
Well,
right?
yeah. It's just what, it's the DNA.
Yeah.
And he's great. Dave Good is somebody who I would take Dave Good scouting against anybody in the country.
Really?
His scouts are unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so when we get to league play, we dial in on it a lot more because now there's more information.
Right.
I mean, he is unbelievable at scouting.
Yeah.
Knowing what's relevant to us because, sometimes a coach could come in here and say, this team's going to do this, 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 and this, and spend a lot of time on it. Mm-hmm. But against us, they're not going to be able to do that anyway.
Right.
So, why are we wasting our time on that? Dave has a great eye of what is going to impact us.
Yeah.
And, he's been with me since high school. So he really knows that. Every press alignment that would impact us, he's like, don't got to worry about that. We don't need to spend any time on that. No problem. Not play, that's not going to affect anything that we do. Just stick to our rules. Bang, bang, bang. And then his breakdown of the film is elite. I mean, we literally just left. That's why I was late here.
Yeah.
We're sitting there breaking down Georgia.
Yeah.
And he's pulling all their stuff up. And we're going back and forth on how to guard things. Me, him, and Kyle were. And, we got an elite staff. And then Frank's been in the league for a long time.
Yes.
He's coached against these guys, knows their tendencies. We're going out of timeouts. And he's like, hey, so what do you think they're about to go to here? I think they'll go to this. He's usually right.
Yeah.
And then he's had these refs a long time, too.
Yes.
He's like, this guy likes to call this. This guy likes to call – and he'd call them over there by name.
Right.
You know.
And all hell can be breaking loose. And there's Frank talking to an official to kind of calm everything down.
Yeah.
That's also important, is it not?
I mean, Frank Hayes was a national coach of the year at Missouri.
Yeah.
You only give that award to one coach.
Right.
The national coach of the year. Right? So, we're very fortunate to get these guys together. And, a lot of times you get talent together just like a team, but the team isn't cohesive. this group's not filled with egos.
Right.
It doesn't need to be anybody's idea. Right. It's just let's just figure out how to do it. And now I think everybody we do play a little different.
Yeah.
Than most. So the ones that hadn't been a part of it weren't resistant, but they just wanted to learn more and more and more. Now everybody's really on the same page of knowing what we need and what we need to recruit to.
Does it help that guys like Mitch and Kyle and Frank were here at Texas A&M?
Oh, of course. And then Darby Rich.
And Darby.
I mean,
Yep.
they know A&M like crazy. And when I said, hey, y'all want to get back to A&M, Kyle Keller, it's my favorite place I've ever lived. Let's go.
Really?
You know,
Yeah.
Darby, want to get right back here.
Right.
You know, Frank. So, and Mitch, this is the only place Mitch Cole would have come to be an assistant coach.
Really?
The only place he would have come.
Wow.
Yep. I mean, so, they love A&M.
Right.
They know what it's about. The transition was really easy for us, even though, I've never spent time here, much time here.
Yeah.
And so, and they know what this place is about and who can fit in here that you can recruit. Right? You got to recruit people that, you got to recruit the right people here.
Right.
Right. You can't you don't want to recruit somebody that's going to make the program or embarrass the school or whatnot. And so they understand that. They understand the DNA of this place.
They also get the state of Texas, which is important for recruiting high school. But this is also a national program, correct?
For sure. And, I mean, I've always said that Texas A&M basketball is a sleeping giant.
Yep.
And all it's going to take is us to crack it one time. We know this. That, A&M's been right there. Right at the cusp. We got to the Sweet 16. God, so close. It couldn't – we're going to knock the door down at some point. Man, I'm going to tell you, I mean – then it's going to become an expectation.
Yeah.
Right? Once we knock it down and get past that second weekend, I've seen it. I just know I've seen it. I saw Alabama do it, and I saw Auburn do it.
Right.
And they weren't any further along than we were.
Right.
There's no reason we can't do it. And if we can compete in this league, trust me, we're not going to get the NCAA tournament and be like, wow, I've never seen teams that are good.
Right.
We're in a tough league right here.
Right.
Right? So that's why everybody in the SEC, when you get there, you've played against it all.
Yeah.
You're not going to play against a team that's going to beat you up more than Tennessee is.
Correct. Correct.
I mean, it's just not going to happen. You're not going to play against a team like Alabama that's going to space you out and bomb. You're not going to play – there's so many different styles and players. And then most NBA players come out of the SEC.
Right. Right.
So, when we get there, we'll be ready.
Let me turn that around on you, though, because this is what I want to see on a Sunday. I want to see the A&M come up and then that next team come up that A&M has to face, and I want to see that picture of their room going, oh, God, we got to play A&M.
That's
right.
That's what I tell our players. It's they got this team. It's a John Gruden line I heard one time. I thought it was the greatest line ever. We're about to play a game. They're talking about this player, and they got that player, and everyone's asking, how can we stop him? How are we going to stop this guy who's getting NBA looks? How are we going to stop their offense? Now remember the John Gruden line's how come no one's ever asked me how they're going to stop our defense? One person asked me how they're going to stop our defense.
Yeah.
And
they were winning games 11-6.
Yeah, I remember
right?
that.
Right, with those defenses. Yeah.
I remember.
But it's a great point because we don't always turn it around got to face so-and-so. And I totally understand it. But sometimes we remove ourselves and go, you know what, they've got to play A&M.
Yeah. I mean, every team we play does the same thing that all of us guys do when we wake up. They put their pants on one leg at a time. and that's one thing I think that people forget when you're playing against teams that have had some success is that, they're immortal, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
We just got to keep being us and being aggressive, and it's just not how – if you've worked as hard as you can work and you're together and you have the baseline talent, I mean, no one should ever feel inferior in a basketball game.
Right.
And, I mean, actually, if you put in more, why would you – it should be the opposite. You shouldn't feel inferior.
Yeah.
And so we want our teams to play attacking, aggressive basketball. When we walk on the court, our mindset wants to be that they got to deal with us. We're here. Y'all got to deal with us.
Yeah.
And guess what? That doesn't mean we'll win every game.
Correct.
But it's dang sure we're going to give you a great chance to win.
Right.
And it's a great thing to rally around.
Yeah.
And that's what I want for our fans. When we were at Reed Arena in that last game when we were making those runs, everybody knew that team. They had to deal with all of us. And that was a problem for them.
John and I said this to you, the postgame. The first time you hear the 12th man at the intros. And by the way, I love the players going, even on the intros, into the crowd. But they got into it on the backcourt turnover. It wasn't the flurry of threes. So now they kind of know, okay, we're now going to be behind this identity of this team, and that's part of the identity.
That was great. I was so they had done. I'm not a huge fluff guy with social media, okay? And so they had shot that Sports Center commercial a while ago, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they shot it a while ago and released it. And I was like, man, I don't know if we want to release that, blah, blah, blah. But then after Ryland Griffin says the whole comment about that one of the Mississippi
State. Josh Hubbard said that?
Yeah. And he had said something to the effect of, he's like, man, y'all going to stop pressing? And he's like, unfortunately not, man. And so I was like, all right, this would be a good time because it's in good taste to release that video. And so they released that video, which is funny. It's a knockoff of the old Sports Center stuff. And again, we want to have fun with it. We want our fans to have fun with it. We don't want to appear arrogant, but we want to have fun with it.
Right.
But then after that first trap of the game, that crowd was going nuts. They loved it. They knew what it was about, And so that was good. It was good to see everybody rally around it.
And I love seeing the players saw them off after the games. I think that's wonderful. I think that's wonderful. 2
reasons. Everybody together, and that means we won.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Twice this week they won. 88-68 over Mississippi State. 92-69 over South Carolina. More of the Aggie Basketball Hour. Bucky McMillan. When we return to Rudy's, this is Aggie Basketball from Learfield. Head on over to your local Rudy's or Rudy's.com to place an order for their real Texas barbecue. Enjoy 100% oak smoke meats, delicious sides, and Rudy's signature sauce. And don't forget, Rudy serves made-to-order and grab-and-go breakfast tacos every day until 10 a.m. Continuing with the Aggie Basketball Hour, it is with Bucky McMillan. We are at Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. And this will be our home for some Mondays to come. We continue the Aggie Basketball Hour. I'm just tap dancing here. Where'd he go? Oh, that's way better. No, stay. No, stay. I didn't really. I didn't see because you were squatting down. You saw the little. No. You should have stayed there. I can do this. I can do this. No, this is. By the way,
have you ever talked about a basketball game before?
once or twice. Hey, you know what? I thought of this. This quote hit me because you mentioned it last Monday, and you talked about how, man, coaching is so much easier when the ball goes through the hoop, right? You said that. And I was thinking that this week you had mentioned a couple of times in our post game about the assists are up and the turnovers are down, back to that continuity, right, and getting familiar with one another. It reminded me of a line that Greg Popovich said. We were asking about why does Matt Bonner play so much, and Matty was a partner of mine with the Spurs there for a while. And he said, and only he could, when Matt shoots, ball goes through hoop muchly, right? Coaches love when ball goes through hoop muchly, don't they?
I like players that – see, there's certain players that think they're shooters. Like I said, I don't necessarily love shooters. I like makers, right? There's some players that shoot – I'm not saying on our team – that swear they're a shooter, and I'm surprised when they make it.
Right.
When Ruben Dominguez shoots, if he misses, I'm shocked.
Agreed.
That's what you call a maker.
Yeah.
Everybody can be a shooter.
Yeah.
We want makers.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. And you have a multitude of them on the floor, Bucky. And the thing that I like is they run to their spots, right? These are the shots that they're making on Mondays and Tuesdays and Thursdays and Fridays. So on Wednesday night and Saturday afternoon, they're in their spots. They're comfortable there, are they not?
How about Zach Clements?
Outstanding.
Yeah.
But you're not surprised by that.
I've seen Zach shoot it like that, in practice where he gets going. He kept turning down some shots in the game, and we just stopped tape in the film room. I was like, Zach, like every time you shoot it, like I get excited.
Yeah.
And you keep shot faking these.
Yeah.
And like, does anybody have a problem if Zach shoots a three? He was like, no, shoot the ball, bro. And so, when he gets going, man, and he was shooting them like he was sleepy out there.
Yeah.
Like this is nothing.
Yeah.
A lot of the great shooters, they shoot relaxed. That's how Ruben shoots.
Correct.
I mean, Ruben shoots like, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
And so it's good to see him get that confidence going.
I think I like the good to great, though, where you have a Ruben who's turning down a great shot for a greater shot because Zach's in the corner or Zach's on the wing, and he is on fire. And it's like sometimes we talk heat checks after a miss. We say heat check. I was saying heat check all Saturday. It's like just like you keep on firing them, Zach.
There it is,
keep on firing them because they weren't rushed, right, Bucky?
What is it? Shoot to get hot, shoot to stay hot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And Zach, when you have all those shooters on the floor, it's easy to guard a team if they got one or two shooters. Mm-hmm. But when you have all these shooters on the floor, it makes the defense so spread out. And so now it's a problem because now you're going to see something like Jakari starts the second half like an uncontested layup after a steal. Then he gets the ball again, comes off a ball screen, it's uncontested layup. Because I'm sure they went into halftime like, nobody help.
Right.
Nobody help. Nobody leave your man. And so we just drive in there and shoot a layup.
Right.
I remember poor Lamont, who's a great coach for South Carolina, known him since he was at Chattanooga, in the Southern Conference. And
ton of success there.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, when I got there, it was one of my first years in the league when he was getting out of there, and they won the league. They were a top 40 team. But I just remember looking at him during the game when Zach made another three, then Ruben, then Pop, and he just looks down like, all right, man. 12 threes, like, come on now.
Yeah. You've been on the receiving end of that, right?
Oh, yeah, I've seen it. Now, I don't know if someone said 12 on us and a half because that was the record in Reed Arena.
Yeah.
But I don't like that feeling when the team's going off from you. Now, I will say this. We were not shooting the ball. Like, it just seems like through the course of the season and the course of the game, like we only made 44% of our threes in that game.
Yeah.
First half we're unconscious, and there's a regression to the norm. Mm-hmm. Well, early in the year, the same thing happens over the course of the season. I see some guys in here, Luke's in here, and other guys in here. I'd said early in the year, like we had a really good shooting team. We were shooting like 29%. And so I was like, this is going to turn in our favor.
Yeah.
Because like there's the regression. What would be the opposite of the regression?
You would progress.
Progression to the norm.
Yeah.
So we're just getting that out of the way so we got to SEC play.
Right.
Progression to the norm.
Use the non-cut. Right. Right. But you weren't saying it hopefully, Bucky. You were saying it because you have seen it.
Right.
And it was a matter of seeing it in the 40 minutes.
That's exactly right. When this team, we knew the strength of this team was they were a good shooting team.
Right.
You play to your strength. And earlier, when we were shooting like 29 and 30% from three, I was just like, man, we're so much better shooting team than this. Now, I do think this is part of it. Even though we were below the norm, we probably weren't in the shape, the way that we like to play, to make those shots consistently how we like to play.
Yeah.
And it takes time because, it's not like these were guys that played here for 3 years with us. It wasn't that situation.
Right.
And then we didn't really get a summer with a lot of them. So I think it took a sec for them to get in that type of shape to make shots when it matters. And now you see us, getting pretty strong in the second half, shooting it just like the first.
When a big like Zach shoots, that's also because you can pull their big away from the basket as well, right? They've got to respect that shot of Zach Clemens.
Well, most of the teams we play in the SEC, the bigs are not shooters.
Yeah.
But they're huge.
Yeah.
And we're the smallest. They did a deal of all the Power 5 teams. We're the fourth smallest Power 5 team. Now, if you went down to minutes played of our players, we're probably the smallest Power 5 team.
Yeah.
In all of college basketball. So, you got to find, all right, what is your advantage? If they got somebody that is big and is at the rim and can block shots, well, you can be at the rim, but the three-point line's not at the rim.
Right.
So you got to find where your advantage is, right, and play to that.
Right.
And it's good to see Rashawn Agee make a three. I'm telling you.
You have said this time and again.
Yeah.
But you're right.
Because everybody keeps looking at me like, Coach, he keeps shooting these threes. Is he going to make one? Like, Sean's going to have a game he makes 4 of them.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Sean can shoot it, and he's in the gym all the time. So when we get our bigs really shooting from three, it's going to really spread the floor out even more.
But it's that IQ that he has that, I have this shot, but we still have a lot of the shot clock left. And I can get this ball back and take this three, but I can get somebody else. And whether that's like we saw at Texas, the backdoor cuts, or, it's there, but that's a better shot for him. He's not getting himself, let me shoot this and take everybody else out. Like, he's really, the IQ on him is something else.
You couldn't have said it any better. Like, he knows he'll get the same shot with 10 on the shot clock that he get with 20.
Yeah.
And he knows he wants to explore getting Ruben a shot, Kari, Pop, right down the line. And so he's got an unbelievable IQ. Like, and he's a total winner.
Yeah.
Like, it's all about the team. I really, you don't get to coach too many people in your life like Rashawn Agee. And I don't just mean the player he is. He's a great player. But the heart and the person, like the personality, he's just a magnetic dude. And a soldier. He's undersized in every game.
Yeah.
And you don't know it till you're out there on the floor that you see the size discrepancy. But would you ever think he's undersized? No, you wouldn't.
He's won almost every tap
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Like that should be the first thing that you notice, and then as you watch. But you know what? I keep thinking about this, Bucky. There have been a lot of great rebounders, which I think he is. And obviously, it's not just one move in the post. You don't know what he's going to do. But some of those undersized have been some of the best players.
Yeah, well, if you're undersized, your motor has to be off the chain.
Mm-hmm. Right.
There's just no excuse because you know that you are undersized.
Yeah.
And his motor is just total see ball, get ball.
Yeah.
That is it. There's ball, get ball. 3 people in my way, there's ball, I get ball.
Yeah.
3 people, I'll knock 3 people down, get ball. I mean, I think I told this story. I talked about with Rashawn. I said, Sean, McKenzie's hurt. We got a couple options. We can either try to play bigger, but we're going to be leaving some of our better players off the floor, or we can play smaller, which would probably be getting most of our better players on the floor, but we could have a problem rebounding. And he said, no, we won't. And I said, why do you think that? He goes, because I'll get the rebound. No, but it's so funny how he said, I'll get the rebound. He wasn't being funny. He wasn't being arrogant. Just I'll get the rebound. He said, what did you mean? I mean, I'll get – it's just like the most like, are you dumb? Like, I'll get the rebound. Like, we won't have
you hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. Because I'll get it.
Yeah.
And that's just his deal.
Yeah.
And I think he's right there at the top of the SEC, maybe tied for first in double-doubles per game.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked when it's all over if he doesn't have the most double-doubles in the league.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree. He is a winner. Absolutely. So is this guy. So are the Aggies 16-4, 6-1 in conference play. More of the Aggie Basketball Hour with Bucky McMillan. We return to Rudy's. This is Aggie Basketball from Learfield. Help Texas A&M become the national leader in this new era of college athletics by supporting Aggie NIL. Aggie NIL is the new comprehensive program that will maximize and facilitate third-party NIL opportunities for Aggie student-athletes. And whether you're a small business owner, an avid supporter, or a current NIL contributor, there's a role for every member of the 12th Man. Visit 12thman.com/Aggie NIL and make a difference today. We continue Aggie Basketball Hour with Bucky McMillan. They have checked in on our Behind the Mic on the Texas A&M Basketball Facebook page. Frank from Tampa. Riley from icy cold Arkansas. Groho, I see you. Curtis is from Mason. Congrats on going 1-0 again. Hope the guys enjoy a day or so off. In the words of one of your fellow coaches, why not us? Barry's checked in from Magnolia. Ronnie from Belton. Cooper from Waxahachie. Robert from Rockwall. Elizabeth and David Weekly in Temple, and Mason is in San Angelo. Mason has a question. What's the biggest thing you're looking to see or accomplish during this bye week? Before you answer, thanks for re-energizing Aggie basketball.
Well, thank y'all for teaming up and us all energizing this the way we have. And thank y'all for being here tonight and everybody checked in online. Biggest thing, what was the first question?
What's the big thing you look to see or accomplish during this bye week?
Well, we need to get some rest from some of our main guys here for a couple of days. We've had a couple of days, so 9:30 a.m. tomorrow we're practicing.
Gotcha.
And then we'll go 1 day off again, and then 2 days on. So that's the first deal is I want them coming back feeling fresh. And then just working on things we got to get better with rebounding the basketball. And I know it's easier said than done, but we just got to keep progressing in that department. Like most of the time, I would say, as wild as this sounds, we're probably blocking out and tracking balls more than most SEC teams are. Mm-hmm. We're just a little smaller.
Yeah.
But that way, we have to be not better than most teams are with that. We better be the best because we will be smaller on the floor.
Right.
So that's what we got to keep progressing towards is rebounding the basketball. Particularly as we're about to go through this road gauntlet. You just can't give teams second chances.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. This is the last break. Then it's a sprint, correct? After the, you know what I mean? Like it's.
Yeah. You'll look, I saw something the other day that just was like scary. And it was like, maybe this was last week. It was like, we will have a tournament bracket in 7 weeks. And I was like, Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So that was last week. So I guess we're 6 weeks away.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
It comes quick, right?
And here's the deal. Like, we put ourselves in a position where we have an opportunity to be one of those names called.
Right.
And guess what? It could go either way.
Yeah.
But we got to just go about it with the same mentality like we're an underdog. Like when we started league play, when we didn't have a very high percentage chance. Now our percentage chance may be pretty high.
Right.
But we can't play like not to lose. Like we need to play like we're trying to win the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and everyone picked us in the bottom 3 teams of the league.
Yeah.
So our mindset's got to be not trying to sneak in a tournament. Like, let's go, do the things that are important to being successful every game. And that's going to give you the best chance.
Right.
And but that was crazy to just think how quick it goes,
yeah.
right?
But you can't look ahead to the 6th week. You know it's there. But the only focus can be, well, the focus is 9:30 tomorrow, understand. But you can't do anything, and whatever else happens Tuesday and Wednesday, you have no control. Georgia is now the next focus.
That's right.
And we all think it's a cliche as a fan, but it's really not.
Yeah, it's one game, one next practice to the next game, to the next practice, to the next game. And then we got to see, like, we've done a great job. And I would say this, that our staff, that you mentioned those guys earlier, have done a great job behind the scenes, too, keeping these guys' minds right. Like, we've handled adversity really pretty good, all right? Like, early in the season, playing time with certain guys. Everybody's in right now.
Yeah.
But we're going to see some adversity in these road games. That's inevitable.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to see that. And what you got to do, you can't allow that to snowball on you.
Right.
Like, you can't just be tight when you're having success. Like, you're going to have some bad halves, right? You may play a game not as good, but, like, how do you bounce back? Because that's consistency you got to have to play your way through this league. Like, you'll see some of these teams, they'll let one loss be 5 losses.
Correct.
All right, or
Correct.
one bad half be 4 bad halves. One guy's mad at this player and decides hey, he's going to be mad at him for 2 weeks, and it cost him going to the NCAA tournament. Mm-hmm. And then they look back and they say, man, I wish I didn't do it like that.
Right.
So, like, that's really I've said this before. You've heard me say it. Like, the greatest test is going to be when real adversity strikes, like how you handle that and can you overcome that.
Yeah.
That's what can make the story of this group pretty significant. It's a significant story from where we started back in April.
Right.
We had some adversity, no players, putting it together. And that's why it's going to be significant if we keep trucking along and we make something special happen because the cards were stacked against us.
Right.
Right? So we just got to keep going.
So if I talk about the maturity of this team in the second halves against Mississippi State and South Carolina this week, can I use that maturity as well, that this team has faced some adversity? It may not have been exactly how you planned it early with injuries, or you battle the flu, or you battle with someone who, maybe I'm not getting the time. That's something that between you and the player. Is that maturity as well coming to the forefront of this team for overall as opposed to just a first and a second half?
Yeah, no, there's definitely that. I had so TJ Cleveland, who I mentioned on our staff, who does a great job. He played for Nolan Richardson. His uncle is Mike Anderson. Mike Anderson was at Missouri. Mike Anderson's the head coach of Arkansas. He's a big fan of ours, obviously, for obvious reasons. Yeah. So TJ's a Birmingham guy. I'm a Birmingham guy. Mike Anderson's a Birmingham guy, right? And Mike, obviously he was at Missouri when they went to the Elite Eight, was at UAB, then was at Arkansas. So he texted me after the SMU game, and he said, y'all taught him how to play. Because he watched first, y'all taught him how to play. Now y'all got to teach him how to win. That was a great quote.
It's a great one.
When we've said this to our players, some players play to play, some play to win. Our players that early were trying to figure each other out. We're playing to play. Now they're playing to win, right? Yeah. And so that's what I think with this team. We have the pain from like, we lost at Tennessee, or we lost the SMU game. Yeah. But we forget we were trailing at Pitt with 8 minutes. Mm-hmm. We forget that, the LSU game we were trailing it in the last 10 minutes, right? Oklahoma game, same situation. Yeah. Auburn game, down by 15. Yep. Right? Tennessee, we ended up losing that one, right? But all these games, these swing games, we forget the ones that we pulled away, which was a lot more than the ones we lost. Yeah. Right? And that's a sign of progressing and maturity. What if I told you, I can't remember the date, maybe y'all could look it up, but maybe it was like November 10th. We lost to Central Florida at home. Yep. I got something for y'all to think about. Lost to Central Florida at home. We have not been losing at the end of regulation since then. Think about that. We lost to Central Florida at home, whatever that was, like November 10th. Uh-huh. And we have not been losing in any game over 2 months at the end of regulation. Right. We lost 2 games in overtime, one in double overtime, one in overtime. That's pretty impressive. Yeah. Right? I mean, that's pretty impressive. So we're heading in the right direction.
One more segment of the Aggie Basketball Hour with Bucky McMillan. When we return to Rudy's, this is Aggie Basketball from Learfield. When you need a new roof or just have a pesky leak, you want to call on the winning team at Schulte Roofing, home of the Bulletproof Roof Guarantee. Get the best. Visit SchulteRoofing.com. It is our final segment of the Aggie Basketball Hour with Bucky McMillan. Brett Otto is the producer of the Aggie Basketball Hour in our Learfield studios. Kevin Menchow is our engineer here at Rudy's. John has checked in from Burleson, Texas. Darren Wixon has a question that I'm going to save for next week because we don't have enough time, and I don't want to rush through it. But keep this in mind for next Monday. He wants to know, since he just heard that late in the portal, about how you selected players, how you looked in Spain. Let's do that for next week and make that like a segment, because I don't want to rush through that as we get later in the show. But it is Georgia, and this will be a fascinating matchup. Two of the three highest scoring teams. I think it's Georgia, Alabama, Texas A&M. That may have changed after Georgia lost to Texas, but
to who?
To you. And but this becomes fascinating because we played a lot of teams. South Carolina wanted to use a lot of the shot clock. Mississippi State was going to use a lot of the shot clock. This is going to be another fascinating matchup. And like in boxing, styles make matches, right? They make fights.
This will be a fun game to watch,
yeah,
for really sure. When I was at Sanford, we went to Georgia, and we were leading to the last couple minutes of the game, and we ended up losing. That was one of our first years where we weren't good yet. But it's a fun place to play. Yeah. I do know that. It's a fun place to play. And the two styles, games are really fun when both teams don't mind sticking to what they do. And I bet this will be an up-and-down game.
Yeah.
So
Mike White was doing this not just at Florida, but at Louisiana Tech. Was he not? Was he similar, or has he?
Yeah, he's really increased their – like, I actually saw a stat on it. They were, like – bottom 300s in the country and scoring not very high, between 70 and 75 the last 3 years. They've really amped it up this year. They pick up full, trying to play fast, sub a lot.
Yeah.
So they're a good team when they're playing well, and they play well at home, and they're shooting well. They're tough out.
That is a good place when they are winning. When they're not, it's and we've seen both in there. They had Anthony Edwards with that place. They couldn't wait. They couldn't see Ant enough. And I know it was only just for 1 year, but it should be a lot of fun. Have yourself a great week. You stay warm, will you? And beat the hell out of Georgia on Saturday.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
He's Bucky McMillan, head coach of the Fighting Texas Aggies. As always, thank you, Coach.
Thank you all for being here.
As we
really
said,
appreciate it. Thank you all.
Saturday, 12 noon. That's when we tip things off against the Georgia Bulldogs. 11:30 with our Dos Equis tip-off show. That is your Saturday lineup, and the bye week. We get to sit back and watch the carnage throughout the SEC on Tuesday and Wednesday before we head to Athens on Saturday to take on Georgia. Once again, Brett Otto is the producer of the Aggie Basketball Hour with Bucky McMillan. Kevin Menchow is our engineer. I'm Andrew Monaco for the head coach of the Fighting Texas Aggies, Bucky McMillan. We thank you so much for joining us all along the network, on the apps. Thanks for checking in on the Texas A&M Basketball Facebook page. We thank you so much for joining us.